Some argue it is the most preventable homicide, yet every year innocent people wind up dead. Local law enforcement say too many drivers are selfish, senseless, and stupid. And all too often, it's the innocent victims' families left behind to deal with the pain. Here's NewsCenter 7's James Brown.
Something I've got to live with for the rest of my life.
The date, 6/28/2006. And this is one of the worst one deputy has ever seen.
It's tragic. It's very tragic.
It's 1:45 in the morning.
I've never seen anybody hang upside down dead.
The car so smashed and ripped apart, it's hard telling what kind of car this is.
The person that died was my best friend.
Nicholas Poe is talking about 18-year-old Nicholas Goings.
I am glad I came to prison because it allowed me to wake up.
That warm summer night in June, Poe, Goings, and two other buddies were drinking at a party, and Poe was driving.
I never thought this could happen to me.
Investigators estimate Poe was going at least 55 miles an hour when he tried going around this curve in Harrison Township. Poe lost control. The car fishtailed. The back end hit a metal pole. Then the front of the car slammed into this big tree and flipped. One teen was ejected and wound up several feet up this tree. Another teen was outside the car with a broken neck. Poe was ejected as well and unconscious and had massive injuries and internal bleeding. Nick Goings, he was trapped underneath part of the car and died here from severe head trauma. NewsCenter 7 has looked at more than 300 pieces of evidence in this case, including pictures of Nick Goings dead.
There's no way I could put what's on this paper on TV.
No.
Why?
Like I said, carnage.
Because it is that bad.
Yes.
It was the best I can do.
Poe was in a coma for 6 weeks.
Had severe head trauma.
Later, Poe pleaded guilty to aggravated vehicular homicide and vehicular assault. And on 12/3/2007, a judge sentenced him to 2 years in prison.
I love this guy.
Today, his speech is slurred from the brain damage he suffered in that crash. That, along with scars all over his body, are constant reminders.
That's what happens. That's what will happen, if you pick the lifestyle that I chose.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how bad is drunk driving here in the Valley?
No doubt about it, 10.
It's a 10.
Definitely a 10.
The 10, the worst.
And officers have the numbers to prove it. Listen to this. Statistics show every 30 minutes around the country, somebody dies in a drunk driving crash. Here in Ohio, between 2002 and 2006, drunk driving killed 2,388 people and injured almost 53,000 more. And Ohio troopers say in 2007, in Montgomery County, 30 people died in drunk driving crashes. That's the worst in the state.
The fact of the matter is, dead is dead, and it doesn't matter if that death is caused by a bullet or a Buick.
NewsCenter 7 took a breathalyzer into a bar.
Nice and steady. Just go as steady as you can. Just blow real steady.
We wanted to see just how much some people had to drink. Remember, .08 is legally drunk.
Wow.
You just blew a .24. Do you still think you could drive?
Yeah.
Another man blew a .077, just under the legal limit, and admitted he felt good enough to drive home as well.
Because I only live 2 blocks, but 2 blocks could be too far.
State law says first-time DUI offenders lose their license for a minimum of 30 days. But if it gets to the courts and the court allows a driver to plead guilty to a lesser charge, some of those drivers never lose their licenses at all. So the question is, are the laws tough enough?
I believe it's not. I think it should be immediate license suspension for a year.
Easily, I can say, for every DUI that we remove from the roadway, there's probably another 1,000 or more out there that are getting by with it.
Nick Poe got by with it for a while, but then reality hit. Now he's 20 years old, and he sits in prison. He still thinks about what he would say to his best friend, given just one more chance.
I love him, and I miss him, and I'm sorry for what I've done.
Knowing he took Nick Goings from his mother and his brother and the rest of his family will haunt Nick Poe for the rest of his life. And He hopes you do not end up like him or his best friend. James Brown, NewsCenter 7.
And after Poe gets out of prison late next year, he won't be able to get a driver's license for 8 years. He will probably have more surgery to deal with his lifelong injuries from this crash. He also wants to go to high schools and share his stories with students.